we will know. After a 2-year-long wait, we will finally get a name for Zelda Wii U NX, and a proper gameplay demo/tour and a taste of this ultimate Zelda experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to a special and the very last episode of Zelda Unknown. Throughout this series we have crossed back and forth the provinces making up the world of Zelda Wii U and X, and brought forth ideas on how to make this gigantic open world alive, believable and full of content.
World size versus content. This is a struggle which developers always have struggled with, and Zelda has to this date to create an overworld that doesn't just feel like a hub or passing area to the next dungeon. Will it be different this time around? We will know exactly in 1 week. Nevertheless, though our experience with different games in the RPG adventure genre, we have realized that in order to create a massive open world, you need to fill them with meaningful content, which apart from dungeons and enemies, must include a number of races, interesting characters, dynamic NPCs, rewarding items and activities, side quests, and obviously a variation of urban settlements and villages across the world map. Can Nintendo pull all this off in their 90-minute E3 demos and day-long treehouse playthrough?
In order to create a true, seamless, and open experience, you need to have no loading screens and bound map sections and make your world accessible and inviting outside of the main road. The Zelda series does have a great advantage as it has a greater variety of provinces than any other games, and from the gamepad map of Zelda Wii U, we already know that the game will have provinces involving areas such as grass fields, forests, deserts, canyons, lakes, rivers, seas, volcanic, snowy, and non-snowy mountains, and obviously a main town and a number of other settlements.
Based on Mr. Agenuma's goal on breaking established conventions, we believe that this E3 demo will, as the first Zelda experience, not lock you to one specific path within provinces, but rather allow you and even reward you for exploring and discovering unknown areas never seen before in Hyrule. This must involve fewer physical barriers and for the first time make it possible to scale or climb the vertical mountain ranges in the north, with or without designated items from multiple directions, or crossing a true dense forest not only along the main trail, but also in the wilderness surrounded by trees, wildlife and stronger enemies.
As we all know by this point, Zelda Wii U's biggest emphasis will be on free roam exploration, and as such it is natural that the demo will highlight this, as press attendees will be given a level of freedom unseen in previous installments in the series.
The world with empty landscapes alone and nothing, as throughout the history of the Zelda series we have been introduced to a number of different civilizations.
Zelda Wii U has already been confirmed to have a heavy influence on the Sheikah tribe, though the tablet and the tearing eye. The presence of the Hylians has been confirmed through Link and Hyrule Castle, and some hints on the Gerudo tribe having a position in this world has been alluded through Link's Gerudo bracelets, and the red flags from the Haunted Wasteland visible in the first scene of the 2014 Game Awards demo. On top of it, the presence of Death Mountain and many areas of water suggests that the Goron and Zora tribes will play a role in the game.
We believe that the E3 demo and the treehouse playthrough might include several of the mentioned tribes, introduce us to some of their characters, and even give us a peek into their civilization, granting access to one of their settlements, which brings us over to the next point. A central question surrounding this mysterious Zelda experience is how larger urban environments and settlements will be modeled.
The reason to bring this up is that the competition has taken greater leaps in this category in the recent years.
Based on the world map, we should not be surprised if it turns out that each province will have multiple villages, and the most important tribes, such as the Sheikah with Kakariko or the Gerudo, will for the first time have proper towns, just like the Hylians, Gorons, and Zoras have had in the past. Other settlements that might be present is the beloved Lon Lon Ranch in the middle of Hyrule Field, maybe a mountain village in the desolate province of Snow Peak, a harbor town next to the Great Sea, as hinted by the gamepad map, and many more.
Nevertheless, will Nintendo unveil the next generation Hyrule Castle Town in the Treehouse Live, or the show floor demos? If so, a few questions are in order. such as how big and accessible will it be? Will the buildings be completely seamless with no loading screens? And finally, will the castle and town be a separate entity from the rest of the overworld or a part of it? We hope the answers to these questions will be 1. Considerably bigger than any Zelda town to this point, and have a considerable amount of accessible buildings that will be unlocked gradually. 2. We hope that Nintendo will be able to avoid loading screens when entering houses and other buildings. If Witcher 3 could do it on 3 different systems, then Nintendo must pull this off in their next-gen Zelda game. 3. We hope it will be a seamless part of the overworld, but as long as there are no loading screens within the town section, we are willing to accept a separate map from the rest of the overworld. Unfortunately, this might cause the absence of the town in the demo.
Apart from these, we obviously hope for a proper market square surrounded by shops and entertainment, a bigger and fully explorable Hyrule Castle, which for once should not be a dungeon. That honor should go to the sewers, or maybe the Temple of Time, if it will be present in the game. Please Nintendo, show us how the next generation Castle Town will be. Zelda Wii U's main focus is its overworld, and in order to make this one alive, you need dynamic NPCs with designated day and time activities.
Based on the promise of the ultimate Zelda experience and the recent remake of Majora's Mask, it is probable that the E3 demo of Zelda Wii U will include dynamic NPCs with day and time activities. Have they gotten smarter over the years, or will they once again wander around aimlessly? The demo must highlight some interesting characters and give them some depth and a background story. To this point in the Zelda series, there might have been a few instances of these, mainly in Majora's Mask, but Zelda Wii U NX needs to expand on these characters and the side quests that surround them.
In other words, a demonstration of the first section of a multi-stage side quest would be appreciated in the Treehouse livestream, as it would give us a taste of what level of depth the side activities will have apart from the traditional shooting and minigame galleries and races. The side quests are a crucial part of this experience, should definitely get some exposure in the demo, without spoiling any moments from the main plot. Perhaps they will go far as including a quest tracker, similar to the altered Boumber's notebook found in Majora's Mask.
Since there are 2 playable demos of Zelda Wii U at this E3, it is probable that one of them will be set in the overworld, and the second within one of the new massive temples.
Zelda Wii U, just like A Link Between Worlds, is promised to be a non-linear experience, and thus the most useful items will most likely be found outside the dungeons and have to be purchased or rented at one of the blacksmiths or shops in the game. We want the demo to showcase new ways of approaching and solving puzzles and defeating bosses, as it is due time for an overhaul in these cases for the series. Beside the already confirmed basic items such as bows, swords, and shields, we hope that the demo will feature some of the new mysterious energy-infused items such as the timeshift arrows and the Sheikah tablet. In terms of returning items, we already know about the sailcloth and bomb arrows, but we further need a confirmation of the inclusion of the hook shot or claw shot, the grappling hook for accessing more areas through climbing, and returning magic-infused items such as light, fire, and ice arrows. With that being said, we prefer to see new items highlighted in the demo instead of returning ones.
Zelda Wii U has a second screen and it has to be showcased, as we need to know more about the map and its smartphone's functions, and how its second screen experience will evolve from the ones found in the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. For instance, how will the beacon system function on the gamepad?
The changes to the combat mechanics and controls must be as clear as the light of day in the demo. We already know that enemies will have health bars over their heads, similar to other RPGs, but how will this impact skirmishes? And has this resulted in more challenging, intelligent enemy AI? And then you have probably the greatest fear of the game. Can the gyroscope ruin the controls gameplay experience? Just like the forced motion controls in Skyward Sword did for so many Zelda players around the world.
We need to get a proper answer as to why Zelda U-Link is right-handed. Does this imply even more motion controls implementation? Naturally, we want to be optimistic after near-perfect implementations in the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, where the gyroscope was barely implemented for first-person aim, and even then this feature could at any point be deactivated in the options menu. Nevertheless, after the highly controversial Star Fox Zero experience, Nintendo should embrace in-game optimization and customization as a norm, to hand control over to the player in order to set its own button layout and turn off unwanted and forced gameplay and on-screen functions. If you want to play without a HUD blocking half or 2/3 of the screen, it should be possible to turn off these nuisances.
With that being said, we couldn't be more excited for this year's E3 and the Zelda booth. We hope to see as much as possible in terms of controls and customization, as this will heavily impact the game. We further want to see more of the world, and the different provinces and races, but not having any significant plot points or characters spoiled. Instead, it should emphasize on side quests and free roam in controlled forms.
But for now, we will prepare for the celebration of gaming excellence on June 14th, as you are officially invited to join our E3 show, which will begin 11:30 EST, 17:30 CET, with the updated documentary on the development of Zelda Wii U, followed by our thoughts and last expectations leading us into the Treehouse Live. Throughout the day, we will upload a number of new videos, including an initial analysis of the trailer, the title, and the new gameplay, as I will be present at the E3 show floor from June 14th to 16th with press accreditation. To give you full immersion, I will take over all the posts at the Common Realm Twitter account to post anything that I can find in these two demos, before we together will upload new videos with daily updates, first-hand gameplay impressions, in-depth analyses, tour of Nintendo's Zelda booth, discussions and debates, theories, and finally, the premiere of a new series with an updated documentary on the development of this groundbreaking title. So do not forget to follow Common Realm on Twitter to stay in touch with all the massive E3 updates as we uncover the world of Zelda Wii U at E3 this June 14th to 16th. Please like, share, favorite this video, and most importantly, subscribe to Commonwealth Realm if you haven't already to stay in touch with anything Zelda Wii U NX, Zelda, and Nintendo NX.
Until then, this was the Commonwealth Realm, and we will see you girls and guys at E3.